quiet glow of a night that moves too fast, too slow. Your tiny hand wrapped around my thumb. God, I wish this moment could be numb. I remember when you took your first small step. You fell, then laughed, then tried again. I stood there with a heart so scared, afraid one day you wouldn't need me there. Your drawings hang upon the wall, crooked sons and houses small. To you I was a hero tall, but heroes don't stay here at all. One day you'll look around the room and I won't be there to chase the gloom. That thought keeps me awake at night, writing you these words by dim moonlight. When my voice becomes the wind and my arms can't pull you in, when you call and hear no sound, just remember I'm still around. In every song you hear me sing, in every tear, in everything, love like mine won't ever end. Even when my voice becomes the wind. I won't see the man you'll grow to be, or who you'll love, or where you'll sleep. I won't be there to fix your car or tell you that your dreams aren't far. But I hope you'll keep my stubborn pride, the way I never learned to hide how much I loved you every day, even when I had no words to say. If the world gets cold and turns away and you feel too tired to stay, close your eyes and you will find my voice still echoing in your mind. When my voice becomes the wind and my arms can't pull you in, when you call and hear no sound, just remember I'm still around. In every scar and every wind, in the strength beneath your skin, love like mine won't ever end. Even when my voice becomes the wind. I'm terrified of leaving you alone, of you standing at my stone, reading dates carved into gray, while all the things I meant to say are buried underneath the ground with a name and silent sound. So listen now while I'm still here. I've loved you more than I showed, my dear. When my voice becomes the wind and this life I'm living ends, don't you ever feel betrayed by the choice that time has made. You were always my greatest song, the place my broken heart belonged. And love like mine won't ever end, it just learns to ride the wind. So when the night is cold and still and the world bends to your will, speak my name into the sky, and I'll answer in the wind nearby. There's a quiet in this house tonight. Even clocks are scared to chime. I sit beside your bedroom door, counting breaths and counting time. You're still young enough to need my hand, still small enough to understand that monsters only live in dreams, and broken hearts can still be mended. I wish the world would stay this way, with scraped up knees and games to play, but life keeps pulling you ahead while I grow shadows in my head. I started writing letters you'll read on days when you might miss me most, sealed with tears you'll never see from a father turned to ghost. When the day I fade from your sky leaves you asking God why, and the silence feels too loud in a room once filled with sound. All the stories that I told, like a fire in the cold. Love doesn't leave when bodies die, it just learns to live inside. I won't be there for your first heartbreak, or the vows you one day make. I won't sit in the front row chair, pretending I don't cry right there. I won't fix the sink or broken doors, or carry you on my shoulders anymore. But every laugh and every scar will show you exactly who you are. And if you ever lose your way and every light has turned to gray, close your eyes and you might hear the voice that used to call you near. When the day I fade from your sky leaves you asking God why, and you're standing at my grave with the words you were too scared to say. Know the love I left behind is stronger than the hands of time. Even when you're left to cry, I'll be the blue inside your sky. I'm scared you'll forget the way I laughed, or how I'd clap when you ran fast, the little songs I used to sing, the paper crowns you made me king. If heaven lets the Father see the lives their children grow to lead, I'll be the proudest soul alive, watching you survive. When the day I fade from your sky and your tears refuse to dry, don't you think I walked away? I was called, I couldn't stay. You were always worth the fight, every sleepless worried night. And if love could rewrite time, I would choose your hand in mine. So when you whisper in the dark and feel a warmth around your heart, it's not the window passing there, that's just me still standing there, still standing there. There's a photograph above the stairs where you're lying on my shoulders there, your tiny fingers in my hair, like you believed I'd always be there. I used to chase you down the hall, through cardboard castles, painted walls. You'd fall asleep against my chest, and I would pray you'd dream your best. But time is faster than my breath. It writes its storyline, my death. And every year you grow more tall, while I grow smaller in it all. I've started saving things for you, old guitars and letters too, in case one day you need a trace of the man you can't replace. There'll be a chair every Christmas that nobody will claim, a space beside the fireplace, still calling out my name. And when the laughter fills the room, but something feels not right, that empty chair will hold my love through every silent night. I will walk you down the aisle someday, or teach your son the games we'd play. I won't be there to calm your fears, or wipe away your aging tears. And that's the part that breaks my soul, not death itself, but losing roles, the quiet things a father does that no one ever speaks of. If life becomes too hard to bear, and you're convinced I'm unaware, just look for signs in simple things, in worn out books and broken strings. There'll be a chair at every Christmas, a silence in your song, a ghost inside your family jokes, where I used to belong. But love is louder than goodbye, it doesn't disappear, it echoes through your children's eyes and whispers, I am here. The lines, the scars, the warm embrace, that one day I'll just be a name you say before you walk away. So promise me you'll tell my stories, not the sad ones, tell the glories of how I danced in socks at night and held you through your darkest fright. There'll be a chair at every Christmas, but don't you cry for long, because the love I gave you lies inside your heart made strong. And when you hold your child someday and feel your whole world shift, You'll understand the life I gave was never destined to lift. So leave that chair there if you want, or fill it, laugh, move on. Just know wherever you may go, to me, you're still the one. The house is quiet, but I'm still awake. Treasuring every memory we made. Your drawings scattered on the floor, a battlefield from days before. Carried you on tired arms through sleepless nights and childhood score. You'd whisper secrets in my ear, like I was someone without fear. I told you I'd be there always, through every tear and every face. The promises are fragile things, measured up against time's wings. So I've been writing down my heart, in case I have to soon depart. A map of who I tried to be, so you can still remember. Just me knocking on the sky, trying to tell you I'm nearby. When the world feels heavy on your chest and you can't seem to find your rest, close your eyes and call my name. Love still burns without a flame. I won't see the man that you'll become, or hear the songs you'll someday hum. I won't be there to share your fears, or toast your victories through the years. I won't grow old and watch you grow. That's the truth I hate to know. Not death itself that scares me most, it's leaving you to face the ghosts. If someone breaks your heart in two, and I'm not there to see you through, remember all the times I said you're stronger than the tears you shed. finally refusing to go. A father's love the world can't slow. When your own child takes your hand and you finally understand why I worked and worried so, why I never let you go. The sound of every joke I've made, the way I sang you off to sleep, the promises I couldn't keep. So tell my stories when I'm gone, not as a saint but as your dad, the man who tried to love too hard, who sometimes broke but gave his heart. If you ever hear thunder without rain, don't you ever feel ashamed to cry for me, to miss my face, wish I could take your place. Because every step you choose to take, every bond you choose to make, carries pieces of my soul, and every dream you dare to hold. When the sky is dark and white, and you feel me by your side, don't be afraid of what remains. It's just love sounding like rain.
Stood outside your bedroom door tonight, watched the shadows dance in hallway light. You were dreaming with your arms held tight around the bear I bought you long ago. You used to think I knew it all, how to fix a crack, how to stop a fall. You'd run to me with tear-filled eyes, and I'd scare the monsters with my lies. I taught you how to ride a bike, how to throw a punch, how to strike. But there's one thing I can't undo. I can't stay here to watch over you. Time keeps riding on my skin, lines that say I won't always win. And every breath I take tonight feels borrowed from another life. The last lesson gotta carry on alone. You'll curse the sky and curse my leaving. You'll say the world's unfair and cold, but strength is something you were born with even before you learned to crawl. I won't see you chase your dreams or hear the words you'll someday mean. I won't be there when your heart breaks or when your whole foundation shakes. And that's a wound I can't outgrow, not dying, but the things I'll never know. The quiet talks, the Sunday drives, the ordinary sacred lives. If you ever feel you're lost at sea and the waves crash into sleep, remember all the nights we talked about the man you'd be when you walk tall. The last lesson I'll ever teach you is love that doesn't disappear. It hides inside your memories and whispers when you're full of fear. You feel it in the things you do and every choice that feels like me. You won't see me standing next to you, but you'll become my legacy. Forget my voice one day, the way it cracked when I tried to pray, the way I laughed at my own jokes, the smell of smoke on my old coats. So write me down in stories told, not polished clean, but brave and bold. Tell them I tried, I failed, I fought, but loving you was all I sought. The last lesson I'll ever teach you is how to love without regret, to hold on tight to those beside you before the sun is fully set. And when you're old and someone asks you where you learned to stand so tall, you'll smile and say, my father showed me before he had to fall. So when you stand beside my grave and feel the wind across your face, don't think of it as me being gone. Just think of it as my embrace. There's a pair of shoes beside the door. You've already
outgrown them more than I ever thought you would. Time runs faster than it should. You used to reach for just my hand to cross the street and make a stand. You thought the world was far too wide until I walked there by your side. I taught you words you couldn't say and how to wipe your tears away, but no one taught me how to leave without a child still needing me. Now every mirror shows a face with deeper lines I can't erase, and every birthday candle's flame whispers softly, time won't wait. I left my footprints in your name in every step you'll ever take, in every dream you're not afraid to chase, to lose, to recreate. And when the road feels far too long and you forget where you belong, just look behind you in the rain. You'll see my footprints in your name. I won't be there when doors close hard, or when you're staring at the stars, asking questions to the night that only fathers answer right. I won't be there to hold your hand when life doesn't go as planned, but every lesson that I gave was built to help you face those waves. If you ever feel ashamed to cry or scared to let your feelings fly, remember how I held you tight and said that tears were just another fight. I left my footprints in your name. They carved in more than just your face. They live in every choice you make, in every risk you're brave to take. And though one day I'll fade away like words wash slowly into gray, my love won't ever be erased. It's written deep in who you became. Oh, I'm not afraid of dying soon. I'm afraid of missing you. Your laughter filling empty rooms, your children calling you dad too. Will they know about the games we played, about the forts that we once made? Promise me you'll pass it on, so I'm still living when you're gone. I left my footprints in your name, so you would never walk alone, even when you curse the rain or feel abandoned and unknown. You were the reason I stood tall, the reason I endured it all. And if there's one truth I can claim, it's that I live for your last name. So when you stand where I once stood and try to be the man you should, don't wonder if I felt the same. Just follow the footprints in your name.
There's a creak I hear most every night, from the hallway soaked in yellow light. For a second I still turn my head, like it just come home and called me Dad. Your shoes are lined up by the wall, one pair bigger than them all. I keep them there like they still fit, like time just somehow skipped a bit. I replay echoes in this place, your laughter bouncing off the space, your laughter bouncing off the space. And every memory I defend against the clock I cannot bend. I'm learning how to disappear while you keep growing year by year. And every breath I take tonight feels like a step away from light. When you hear the sound of your door still opening, and nobody stands in the frame, that's just the ghost of my love returning to whisper your name. I live in the crease of the wooden floor, in the chair where I used to sit. Love doesn't die when a heart beats no more, it just changes the shape it's in. Oh my world, when you lose your mood, when your skies all turn to gray, I won't be there to take the blame, but cheer the loudest at your name. I used to think that being strong meant I could stay here all along, but strength is knowing when to go, and trusting you will still grow. If you ever curse the empty space where I once stood and filled this place, just know I never chose goodbye, I only ran out of time. When you hear the sound of your door still opening, and the wind moves through the hall, that's just me checking in like always, to make sure you don't fall. I'm in every word you say out loud, and every promise that you keep, and every moment you feel proud, and every night you can't sleep. I'm scared one day you'll forget my face, the way my arms were your safest place, the songs I sang when you were sick, the magic in my stupid tricks. So tell your kids about the man who held you longer than he can. Tell them I wasn't always right, but loving you was every fight. When you hear the sound of your door still open, don't turn away in fear. It's just the love I left behind you, still bringing me near. And if the world feels far too wide, and you feel small inside it all, just listen for that sound again. I'm still answering your call. So leave the hallway light on low, and let the quiet come and go, because even when you stand alone, you're never the only one home. there's a seat beside you at the table. You don't notice, but I do. I imagine someday you'll sit there with someone who reminds you of me and you. I used to carry you on my shoulders through crowded streets in summer rain. You'd point at things you didn't know and trust that I could explain. I made myself a world of answers so you would never see me weak. But now the mirror tells me stories my pride is too afraid to speak. I count the years on silver strands, a shaking voice and aging hands. And every night I lie awake, afraid of one mistake I can't remake. One day you'll feel the weight of the empty seat at birthdays, weddings, every street. But silence is all that follows through. Don't think that I abandoned you or chose to break your heart in two. I stayed as long as I could stay. Love just ran out of days. Won't see the lines upon your face or how your voice begins to change. I won't hear the stories you'll create or the laughter age rearranges. And that's the grief I hide the most, not turning into someone's ghost, but missing every chapter written after mine is finally finished. If you ever sit there late at night wondering if I'd be proud or right, just know I never doubted you, even when you thought I do. You'll feel the weight of the empty seat and family photos and memories in every room where you still look, expecting me to just be, but I'll be there in subtle ways, in habits you don't know you've saved, in the jokes you tell the same as me, in the strength you didn't know you gave. I'm scared you'll slowly pack my things, box up my watch, my broken rings, and life will move like it should do, but it'll move without your view. So promise me when I'm just dust, you won't confuse love with loss or rust, 'cause what I gave you didn't die, it only changed the way it's seen by eyes. One day you'll feel the weight of the empty seat, but you won't crumble underneath. Because I raised you not to fall, but to rise when you lose it all. And when you stand where I once stood, trying to be the man you should, you'll finally understand that love was the only thing I ever was.
when the chair beside you's bare and no one else is sitting there. Don't pull it in or turn away. Just let my memory stay. Watch you sleeping on the couch tonight, your chest rising in the TV light, your hand still clutching something small, a toy you swore you'd never lose at all. I remember when you couldn't speak, just pointed at the things you'd seek, and every time you fell and cried, you'd only come when I was by your side. I thought that I had endless time to watch you grow, to watch you shine. But lately mirrors tell me truths that youth is slowly packed and moved. I've started writing things you'll read, on nights you feel the world recede, words you'll find in drawers someday. When I am only a name you say, your name will be in my last prayer. When breath is thin and lungs are bare, I'll ask the sky to guard your way long after I've gone away. And if there's any grace above, I'll beg and keep you wrapped in love, 'cause leaving you is my despair. So I'll hold your name in my last prayer. I won't see who you'll become, or hear the songs you'll someday hum. I won't be there to guide your hands when life unfolds in twisted plans. And that's the part that cuts so deep. Not dying, but the things I'll miss, the quiet talks, the simple days, the ordinary things like this. If you ever doubt your worth or place, or feel alone in crowded space, just close your eyes and breathe in slow. I'll be the strength you didn't know. Your name will be in my last prayer, a whispered word in thinning air. beside my grave with questions you were scared to say. No, every tear you leave me there was answered in my final prayer. I'm scared you slowly lose my voice. Forget the times I gave you choice. Forget the way I cheered too loud, or how I stood so weak yet proud. So tell your children who I was. Not perfect, but I gave, because a father's love is never done. It echoes through a daughter or son. Your name will be in my last prayer, through failing heart and vacant stare. And even when my body's gone, my love for you will still live on. I gave you everything I had, every smile, each tear I hid. And if I had another life to spare, I'd still repeat your name in prayer. So if one night you feel the air grow warm as if someone is there, don't be afraid or unaware. That's just me still saying your name in prayer.
We fell asleep with the hallway light still glowing soft against the night. I almost walked in like before to tuck you in and close your door. I used to check beneath your bed for monsters living in your head. I'd say they're gone, you're safe with me, and you would smile so easily. But time has grown inside my bones. It cracks and joints and fragile tones. And now I fear a darker truth. There's no one left to guard your youth. I try to laugh, I try to hide the ticking clock I feel inside. Every mirror, every scar reminds me how old fathers are. I won't be there to turn off the lights when fear crawls in on sleepless nights. I won't be there to say your name and chase away what you can't explain. But every shadow on your wall will carry echoes of my core. Love doesn't leave when hearts ignite. It just learns how to live without the light. I won't sit in the crowd and clap at every goal or graduation cap. I won't hear stories you'll create or meet the ones you'll one day date. And God, that thought cuts deeper still than any sickness ever will. Not dying, but the silent years of missing laughter, missing tears. If you ever scream into the air and feel like no one's standing there, just remember every word I said when you were crying in your bed. I won't be there to turn off the lights, but I'll be there in your inner fights. In every choice you're scared to make, in every promise you won't break. And when you stand there all alone, feeling like you've lost your home, close
mistakes and loved you more than he could say. I won't be there to turn off the lights or sit with you through endless nights, but every step you take in fear will feel like I am standing near, because the love a father gives doesn't end when his body quits. It stays inside your veins and mind, a silent guide through space and time. So when the house is dark and still, and you climb the stairs against your will, don't think you're walking there alone. You're just walking in a home I built in your soul.
There's no radio beside my bed, crackling voices, things unsaid. You used to dance the songs you knew. Well, I just sat there watching you. You'd sing off key and laugh out loud. Every quiet room to a crowd. I'd clap along like it was gold, a private show for one too old. But time kept spinning, records wore. Your childhood slipped beneath the door. Now I sit here late at night with melodies and fading light. I wonder if when I'm gone someday you'll still press play the same old way, or if the silence in this place will make you scared to fill the space. You hear me in the morning radio, between the songs you used to know, a line, a chord, a broken rhyme that pulls you back through borrowed time. When you stop and close your eyes, with tears you try to compromise, just know that every note you play is where I found a place to stay. I won't be there to hear your voice when life gives you your hardest choice. I won't be there to hold you still when all your courage meets its will. And that's the part I fear the most, not being just a fading ghost, but missing all the songs you'll write after I've said my last goodnight. If you ever drive through pouring rain with music loud to mask the pain, and feel a memory in your chest, that's just my love refusing rest. You'll hear me in the morning radio, in every chorus soft and low, in every lyric you repeat. When loneliness sits in your seat, I'll be the echo in the sound, the lost note that still hangs around, a voice you never fully lose, no matter what you try to choose. I'm scared you'll pack my things away and slowly learn to live okay
that one day you'll stop saying that, and memories won't hurt as bad. But if that day should come to be, don't feel ashamed or guilty, see, because the point of loving you was watching you outgrow me too. To distant frequency. So when the signal's weak and low, and you're alone on empty roads, turn up the sound and let it play. That's just me finding one more way to stay. There's an old brown coat stay hanging there by the door you abandoned. It smells like soot and wonder, and nights I tried to hide the blues. You used to run, grab that sleeve, if only made you scared to breathe. You'd wrap yourself in fabric warm, like you were safe from every storm. I never thought you'd grow this fast, or that our quiet nights would pass. I thought I had 1,000 years to watch you dry your childhood tears, but now I feel it in my chest. Take control, I can't arrest, and every mirror shows me signs of borrowed day and borrowed time. One day you'll find my coat in the closet and hold it close to your face. Cause a man you can't replace, and you'll cry for the words unspoken, for the hugs you never gave. But love isn't buried with bodies, it refuses to stay in the grave. I won't be there when you move away, but when you kneel down and propose someday. I won't be there when your own child cries, but when you see your mother's eyes. But missing parts parts of you, the everyday and ordinary, that fathers find extraordinary. If you ever wear that coat outside and feel my warmth still trapped inside, it's just the love I couldn't take, still stitched into each choice I make. One day you'll find my coat in the closet. Wish that time would rewind. You'll sit on the floor in silence, with memories flooding your mind. But every thread inside that cloth was wrapped around you first. A father's love outlives his breath. It's the blessing and the curse. I'm scared you slowly let me fade like dust that gathers in the shade, that you'll forget the way I laughed, or how I clapped when you ran fast. So tell your children what I did, the silly jokes, the songs we hear. Tell them I wasn't always strong, but loving you was never wrong. When you find that coat in the closet, don't put it back in the dark. Wear it out into the cold world, and carry me in your heart, because I never really left you. I just changed the way I stay. I'm standing in the doorway to guiding you from far away. So leave that coat where you can see, not as a ghost but memory. And when the winter winds blow through, just know it's me, still holding you.
There's a silence where your laughter lives, a quiet space where echoes hit. I walk through rooms we used to fill, and everything is standing still. You used to fall asleep in cars, counting headlights, counting stars. I carry you inside at night, your head against me, breathing light. I thought those nights would never end, that time would always be my friend. But now it writes across my skin, a clock I know I cannot win. So I've been telling you more lately, stories from when I was young. Not because you asked to hear them, but because I'm running out of sun. I saved you a seat in my stories, in every tale I ever told. So when I'm gone, you'll still remember the sound of me growing old. You'll hear my voice in every memory, in every joke, in every line. A father's love becomes a legacy when he has to say goodbye. I won't be there when you lose your way, or when your skies all turn to gray. I won't be there to take your side, or sit with you when someone lied. And that's the thought that haunts my sleep. Not death, but promises I keep, to watch you grow, to see you thrive, in a future where I'm not alive. If you ever feel like you're alone, in a crowded room or broken home, just think about the nights we shared, and know how deeply someone cared. I saved you a seat in my stories, in the chapters yet to come. So when your children ask about me, you know exactly where I'm from. I live in every word you speak, and habits you don't recognize, because the love I gave you freely will be the lens behind your eyes. I'm scared you'll slowly lose my face, forget the warmth of my embrace, that one day I'll just be a name you say with pictures in a frame. So promise me you'll speak me loud, not in whispers to a crowd. Tell them I was flawed but true, and every good thing came from you. I saved you a seat in my stories, so I'd never truly disappear. As long as someone says my name, I'll always still be here. And when you stand where I once stood, trying to be the best you could, you realize what fathers do, they live forever inside you. So tell my stories when I'm gone, not as tragedy but song, because in every tale you keep, you're letting your father speak. reach for me to cross the street. Your fingers wrapped around my sleeve. But something changed I couldn't name. Your hand felt stronger in my grip. I blinked and you were standing tall, no longer running when you'd fall. Your voice grew deeper overnight, and you stopped asking for the light. I used to be your shelter, son, the one you'd hide behind and run. Now I'm the one who feels the rain, and you're the one who feels no pain. I saw it in that quiet glance, the day you led and I just followed. The moment childhood slipped away, and time felt suddenly more hollow. It was the day your hand felt bigger than mine, the day I knew I was running out of time. When you stopped needing me to guide your way, and I started fearing my final day. The pride and pain were intertwined as I watched you leave the boy behind. Father's heart both breaks and shines the day your hand feels bigger than mine. I won't be there when your hair turns gray, or when your children call you dad someday. I won't be there to see your fears, wipe away your aging tears. God, I wish I could remain a shadow walking in your rain, but life is rules I can't outplay. Death collects what time can't pay. If you ever miss the man I was, or wonder if I knew, because I saw the future in your eyes the day you grew and I grew wise. It was the day your hand felt bigger than mine. You walked ahead and I fell behind. But every step you take alone is built on roads I helped you on.
day I learned how to decline from being your shield in every fight to being a memory in your life. But if you ever feel alone with burdens heavier than stone, just clench your fist and you will find my strength inside your larger hand than mine. So when you hold your child one day and feel the tiny fingers sway, you finally understand in time the day their hand feels bigger than yours and mine.
You fell asleep before the movie's end, your head against my arm again. I didn't move, I let it ache, just so your dreams wouldn't break. I taught you how to wave farewell on schoolyard gates and carousel. I told you, son, don't ever cry. It's just a part of saying goodbye. But now those words come back to me with cruel and quiet irony, 'cause I'm the one who's running out of time to stay and time to shout. I see it in the doctor's eyes, in careful words and gentle lies, a future drawn in fragile lies that doesn't match what's in my mind, that doesn't match what's in my mind. I taught you how to say goodbye before I knew I'd be the one standing at the edge of life, watching my days come undone. And every hug I held too short, every night I said not now, a ghost that walked beside me here. God, I wish I knew then how I won't be there when you lose your way, or when your skies all turn to gray. I won't be there to share your fears or see you conquer all these years. That's the truth I can't outrun, not death but leaving you, my son, with questions only I could answer, and lessons left without their master. If you ever scream into the air and feel like no one's standing there, just remember how pushed away. I taught you how to say goodbye, but never how to watch me fade. I never taught you how to stand at a grave that I've been laid. So cry if you need, don't hide your pain. Don't be the man I told you to feign, because strength is not a silent cry.
What's loving someone after goodbye? I'm terrified you'll slowly forget the smell of smoke on my old jacket, the way I cheered when you would run, or how I called you little one. So keep the things I left behind, not as relics but as signs, that once there was a foolish man who tried his best to understand. I taught you how to say goodbye, but now I'm begging you to stay, to hold my hand through fading light, and talk to me another day. But time won't stop for my regrets, or all the love I haven't said. So take these words and hold them tight. I loved you more than life itself, my child. When you stand where I once stood, trying to be the man you should, you'll hear my voice and you'll reply, still teaching you how to say goodbye.